So let's talk a little bit about this roller coaster ride that is eating disorder recovery. Please excuse my lips for being all chapped. Every Monday we go running and we do joggers and loggers, which is jogging and then drinking. When it's cold, I always get this. This happens all the time. It ends up making my lips look big from a distance, but then it also ends up making me look like I've got some kind of disease. The roller coaster ride. There have been days that have been great, and there have been days that have been horrible. I've been crying, I've been happy, I've been giddy, I've been silly. Today just happens to be a day that's pretty good. I've been in recovery little less than 3 months. The digestive issues have gone down. I am not having as much gas or uncomfortable stomach pains and everything, not having that as much anymore. I do not have any serious cravings for anything. I think I find that I do want something sweet pretty frequently. Sometimes my appetite is huge. Sometimes I want to eat tons of food, and sometimes it's like, meh. I have been eating healthier things, I think, but not necessarily consciously. Most of my choices have been like fruits and vegetables and chicken and Taco Bell occasionally, but by occasionally I mean once a week. It's been mostly healthy stuff. There was one day that I had a cheesesteak and it was delicious. I wasn't thinking like, "Ooh, I need to go and have a cheesesteak." It was just it was there. I don't know. I've felt bloated and my face has been like super thick and everything. And then I've had days where I actually feel kind of skinny. Not skinny. My skinny days are over, I think. But comfortable with myself, comfortable with my body, slimmer than I have felt. And it's a bizarre thing. And like no one else in your life is going through this. And there's no one to talk to. And I can't keep talking to Dan about it. I mean, I know he's supposed to be my confidant as my future husband and everything, but I don't want to put that kind of pressure on him. I go to a therapist currently, but I think she's useless. Mostly because I just talk and it's like talking to a brick wall. It's not like, hey, can you commiserate with me? Which is kind of what I'm looking for. I want somebody who understands this, somebody that can tell me like, hey, it's fine. Everybody's going through this right now, which is why I've turned to YouTube in the past and why I'm currently making these kinds of videos. I'm hoping that somebody else who's looking for somebody that they can relate to, somebody that you see has gone through the struggle, somebody who understands what it feels like, who has felt the symptoms, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I wish I could talk to more people about it. So recently, I have several friends who are either nurses or dietitians. And I have several of these friends. I don't know why they're all nurses or dietitians. They're all dietitians. It's weird. I actually opened up to two of them about it, mostly because I've been feeling insecure about my weight. I was like, so I might have put on 30 pounds, but there's a reason. I kind of explained to them what was going on, and they were a lot more accepting than I expected. They were very willing to listen to me and hear me out for what it was, and that was nice having somebody I could talk to. So, I guess the moral of that story is you never know who you could actually talk to. I think I chose safe people. They've seen people with eating disorders. My one dietitian friend said basically anyone who's a dietitian has had some kind of issues with eating at some point in their lives. So that confirmed a suspicion that I had long ago, but damn dietitians. So I definitely chose the easy route in talking to them, but at least I kind of outed myself and I let them know. The challenge for me in the future will be talking to someone who has no idea that I have an eating disorder, that I've struggled with it before, talking to somebody that doesn't know how to handle it. So maybe one of my guy friends. I think the biggest one that I've wanted to do for a really long time is just come out on Facebook. Like, I have an eating disorder and I'm struggling through it, but I'm surviving. I don't know. I don't know if that's in my future or not, but we'll see. It's always made me a little bit nervous because when my family found out about this when I was around 16 years old, they all just started walking on eggshells around me. They all started treating me like I was going to throw up every time I went to the bathroom. And it was extremely frustrating to constantly feel like there were eyes on me. Our brains think everybody's paying attention to us all the time because we're egocentric people. And this just kind of confirmed it. Like it made it so that people actually were watching me all the time. And I hated that. So outing oneself is scary. It's really scary. And I get that. If you can share with someone you know people with eating disorders are very good at hiding things. We're not necessarily good at lying, but we're very good at omitting things. I know that one about myself. I'm very good at omitting. I think that it's important to actually talk to people about your recovery, because I feel like once you sort of out yourself as having an eating disorder, you kind of have to follow through, if that makes sense. It's an accountability thing. You have sort of someone to answer to. It's not a secret anymore. You know, like you've got, when you're in your eating disorder, you have this big secret that you want to keep from people. So when you get out of your eating disorder, you should tell people. You should tell your friends. You should tell your family, hey, I'm recovering from an eating disorder and this is how I feel about it. This is what you should know. These are things that upset me. You don't want to tell your friends, like, hey, you can't talk about this. I don't agree with that. I don't think that you should tell people what they can and cannot talk about. My mother's doing the keto diet, and it's the most obnoxious thing ever for her to be like, oh, I can't eat that. I can't eat that. I can't eat that. But I'm not going to tell her what to do. She's years. I think she respects what I'm doing, sort of. She also kind of thinks I'm a little nuts. So to each his own. But again, I think that outing yourself is kind of one of the steps in recovery that you should take if you have anyone in your life that you can trust, someone you admire, and someone for whom you have respect. You want that person to have respect for you as well. If you continue in your recovery, you'll be confident that that person can respect you. I just do think that it helps. I really do. Just being able to relate to somebody is really important. So find what you can with whomever you can. I'm glad I was able to talk to my friends, plus one for Christina this week. If you guys have any questions for me, I honestly would love to eventually set it up that if anyone wants to talk to me, we can set up some kind of Skype call or something. I would love to do that for free. I would love to just be there to talk to people if they want to talk about it. We're both going through it, okay? So remember that, like, if you're stressed about your disorder, I'm stressed about mine too. I just don't seem like it right now because, again, there are good days and there are bad days. If that's something that interests you, please let me know. Yeah, I'm going to get back to my show and get on with my evening. Mwah. I did it. I talked to somebody. This is called Christina woke up on the couch, and this is what her hair looks like today. I talked to Kendra, of all people. Kendra is the secretary for somebody that I was working with, and I came out and she was asking about wedding planning. Of course, because everybody wants to know what my wedding plans are. And I don't have an answer for them because I don't want a wedding plan. I was like, I'm going to be really uncomfortable in a dress, and I've been telling everyone that I have health issues going on, and that's why I'm putting on all this weight. She asked me what kind of health issues, and I went, and then I just blurted it out. I'm going through eating disorder recovery. She was so nice about it. Then we started talking about all the people in the office who are all on diets, all of them. She had gone through keto before. She just bounced back and now she's put on a bunch of weight. There are so many people out there who are going through some kind of body image issues, and everyone's so wrapped up in themselves. Kendra thought when people came in, they just looked at her and thought, man, she's put on a lot of weight. Everybody's just thinking about themselves. Nobody's thinking about whether or not I put on any weight. Nobody cares. Nobody's noticed that I've put on like 30 or 40 pounds. Granted, it's winter. I'm covered up by coats and everything, but nobody notices. So just remember that, like, you may be going through this, but everyone else is going through their own stuff. Everybody else has other things on their mind. Just do it. Just eat. Feel comfortable eating. I don't ever want to be in the position that Kendra's in. She feels like she can't eat anything, and I don't want that. I don't want to be dieting for the rest of my life. I told her that. I was like, I do not want to be dieting for the rest of my life. Yeah, I did it. I talked to somebody about it. Somebody random. Somebody that's not important in my life, and somebody that's not safe. Somebody that's gonna see me on a regular basis, and who could probably say, hey, how's it going? How's everything? I'm proud of myself for talking to somebody. I'm really confident in this recovery. I'm so confident. All right. Laters.